Fix the Pokemon is my new series on how currently underwhelming Pokemon can be fixed to be more viable in the OU tier, without fundamentally changing them too much. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure you like and subscribe, as the rest of 2024, I'm going to make 2 more videos like this. Also want to thank all of you for making my goal 500 subscribers this year. My end of the year goal for 2025 is 1,000, and I appreciate for anyone that wants to help out support this goal. Today is the day of Christmas, and I've got a special Pokemon for you today in Delibird. This Pokemon is known as the Santa of the Pokemon world, but is known as one of the worst Pokemon in the series. Let's see what his debut was, how to become one of the worst Pokemon ever, and how do we repair it to bring holiday cheer. Delibird is an ice and flying type that was introduced into Generation 2, and it has the same typing as the legendary Articuno, which is not the best offensive type, but is also very horrid defensively. It has a base stat total of 330, and its base stats are 45 HP, 55 attack, 45 defense, 65 special attack, 45 special defense, and 75 speed, which is not the finest stat spread if you want to have in a Pokemon. His debut in Generation 2 was an awful one. The Pokemon as it was fell all the way down to the PU tier. Besides its downsides in OU and UU and NU, it had a niche in GSC PU, where it was the only Pokemon that could use spikes in the tier, which just makes it a prevalent threat to break down several defensive teams, and the move Thief steal potential leftovers from the likes of Venomoth and Hitmontop. Unfortunately, Delibird had fell down to the ZU tier in Generation 3, but it became a mixed attacker that could break through multiple walls in this tier. But in Generation 4, it now became a joke, due to having a quadruple weakness to Stealth Rocks that didn't help with his stats, and it was untiered in every generation starting in Generation 5. Unfortunately, it didn't even get a Smogon set in Generation 9, ZU. Yes, Delibird was one of the worst Pokemon ever, but it had one special metagame that not only made this Pokemon a threat, but introduced me to what is the famous Jimothy Cool channel with his Hoenn Gaiden video. The Hoenn Gaiden team had buffed its poor base 330 stat total to a whopping base 525 stat total, which adds up to 195 extra points compared to his base stat total originally, which I think adding these stats to be an amazing idea. I do think that it should be a hyper-offensive Pokemon that can outrun some threats and outpace some Pokemon to beat out some Generation 9 threats. Before we change his stats, the Hoenn Gaiden version of Delibird has a stat spread of 77 HP, which improves it by 32 points. A whopping base 107 base attack, which improves it by 52 points. A base 66 defense, which improves it by 21 points. Its special attack being 106, which improves it by 41 points. A base special defense of another 21, being 66 well. And finally, a base 103 speed stat, which is increased by a whopping 28 points. In this Generation 9 landscape, stats are okay, but I think we could do a little bit better overall. So I'm deciding to drop his special defense and defense stats by 1 point, making both his stats being base 65, and dropping his base HP by 2 points, making it base 75 HP. Finally, my last drop will be 3 points in a special attack stat, bringing it down to a base 103 special attack. My additions to Delibird's new stats are adding his 7 remaining points in 3 points of his attack stat, making it from a base 107 to base 110. In my final 4 points, I'm going to add its speed stat, making it go from a base 103 to a base 107. This helps outrun Pokemon like Enamorus and Iron Treads. Next, I'm going to improve his move pool for Delibird. Even though it has a lot of great moves, it's still missing quite a few moves to help it succeed. First move I'm going to add is Hurricane. This is not only going to hurt some mons on the special side alongside Brave Bird, but it's an essential part of having potentially mixed attacking sets. Next, I'm going to add U-Turn. It'll be a brand new way for Delibird to be heading in and out of danger on some of the great physical or choice sets where it could be used for free pivoting. Finally, for the niche set, it could be used for 3 attacks or a Life Orb set. I'm going to give the move Roost. Roost is another recovery move that is needed for a breaker to break through multiple threats, but I also think it would be a good way to recover with a little bit of its defensive bulk. Finally, the final buff, I'm changing Delibird's hidden ability from the redundant Insomnia to its lore accurate ability, to which it was storing food into its own pouch with the ability Cheek Pouch. If you don't know what Cheek Pouch is an ability that is known by Pokemon like Dedenne and Greedent, where it heals an additional 1/3 of its health by eating a consumable berry. So any berry that could be healing from Citrus Berry, infamous stat boosting Salac Berry, or priority boosting Custap berries. This dangerous hidden ability will not make its other abilities obsolete. but it will be preferred over the attack boosting Hustle due to its increased mischance, and also the other ability of Vital Spirit, which prevents sleep span in some Draft League matches. With these buffs, I think Delibird will be a strong force in the OU tier on more hyper offensive cores compared to the likes of Articuno. Plus, with its blazing speed, good physical attack, and average special attack, it will not be ignored compared to most of the threats that are in OU. The only real competition that it will have is with fighting with Kirim, but I do see it being in UU or UUBL due to its high stats, but also its high offensive pressure. I also say due to his bad defensive typing, I feel that it will be falling down to the RU or maybe at worst the NU tier, but it will most likely definitely be banned. What do you think of these much needed buffs on Delibird? Comment down below what you like to change, and make sure you comment down below what Pokemon you want me to do next. My name is Bandito, happy holidays to everyone, and I hope I see y'all in the next one.